Welcome to the Wis Mama Bear Podcast, episode 20. I'm your host, Sarah Yacoub. Today's topic, fetal stem cells. Well, here we are, rounding out the first month of the podcast. To everyone who has been joining us, thank you, and happy Friday, everyone. I didn't exactly bury the lead with the title of today's topic, and thinking maybe I should have. There are actual studies that demonstrate that people will forego things of value to them, like money, to not have to read or deal with conflicts to their personal beliefs. The social convenience of not having to face different perspectives is worth quite a bit to a lot of people. Perhaps one of the most horrifying parts of the post-truth era is that if the truth is inconvenient, uncomfortable, or if you just don't like it, you can simply declare it to be not real and carry on with your day. The dire consequences of this approach to complex situations are sometimes hard to see, so let's apply the phenomenon to a set of facts that better illustrates what is at stake. You hear warning sirens for a tornado and turn on the news. Sure enough, this is not a drill. A tornado has touched down and is heading in the direction of your town. You go outside to see for yourself. There it is. The rational, responsible response is to move you and your family to safety. Whether that means getting in the cellar or, if time permits, driving away, this threat is very real. It will destroy everything in its path, and as someone who is fighting for not just your own safety, but that of your loved ones, you act accordingly. Let's contrast that with the post-truth era rationale. The post-truth era response is to declare the reports that you just saw on TV to be fake news. You don't go outside to see for yourself. In fact, you carry on as though nothing is happening. As the tornado rips through your town, it takes out your home, you, and everyone you hold dear. The reality of this topic is that it is not convenient to talk about. Why? Well, for one, nobody actually likes dead babies, but also because it speaks to the hypocrisy of a belief structure that is really common around here. Why deal with the inconvenience of our hypocrisy when we can just stop listening and pretend no hypocrisy exists? So now that my audience is down to 2 people and perhaps a squirrel, let's dive in. Donald Trump capitalized on a pronounced change of heart when he decided to run for president on the Republican ticket. Despite a long history of not just supporting the right to get an abortion, but actually joking about women whom he impregnated, quote, taking care of it, close quote, suddenly Donald Trump was the self-proclaimed poster child of pro-life politics. He got a pass from the Christian right for one of 2 reasons. One, some actually believe that he really saw the light, or, more likely, 2, they know he didn't actually change at all, but because he's empowering people whom the financial backers of pro-life politics want to see empowered, he gets that pass. Side note, the Bible has plenty to say about embracing that which you believe to be evil as a means to an end, otherwise known casually as making a deal with the devil. But who's reading? There's a yard sign in my neighborhood that says, "Put Christ back in Christmas." I find it ironic since Christmas is actually rooted in a pagan celebration. And every time I see it, I think, how about we start with putting Christ back in Christians? I say that as a Christian. And I digress. In 2019, the Trump administration suspended federal funding for new research working with fetal stem cells derived from abortions. He enacted rules that essentially made future research impossible. Quote, promoting the dignity of human life from conception to natural death is one of the top priorities of President Trump's administration, the Department of HHS statement read. Wow. Tell that to the babies, toddlers, and children callously ripped from the arms of their parents and thrown in cages with no data collected to even pretend that there would ever be a good faith attempt to reunify them with their family. Or maybe tell that to 2020 Donald, who is getting in every last federal execution possible before he's finally kicked out of the Oval Office. Or maybe just tell that to Donald Trump, the guy with COVID. Enter 2020. Enter COVID-19. Enter a president who recklessly exposed himself and everyone around him to a deadly virus. No surprise, the president, members of his family, and members of his circle contracted COVID-19. Despite having many of the conditions that make COVID deadly, such as old age, obesity, asthma, and a whole host of other health conditions, Trump and his friends have been fine. In fact, they've been more than fine. Donald Trump got the best medical care imaginable. He went to a government-run hospital to receive treatment from government-paid doctors and receive the best cutting-edge medicine money could buy. He openly brags about having kicked COVID in just a matter of days. What's his secret? Remdesivir, an antibody cocktail drug developed from, wait for it, stem cells, fetal stem cells, wait for it, from abortions. Oh, the horror, right? Oh, the horror. Hold on. Where is the outrage? Why aren't the triggered patriots stomping up and down in outrage outside of the courthouse? Why aren't they out there on the bridge with their flags and pictures of dead babies? Where is Wisconsin's Republican legislature? Why aren't they grandstanding at the Capitol? Isn't this where Shannon Zimmerman gets up on the assembly floor and announces that when his wife got pregnant, he chose life? Side note, not she, not them, he chose life. Sort of begs the question of what he would have made or tried to make her do had he chosen differently. I digress. I don't get it. Is not this the ultimate test of pro-life politics? The ultimate opportunity to walk the talk, to take a stand and say, we, the Republican Party of, insert county or state here, will not stand for the use of medicine that comes from abortions. Curiously, the pro-life political wing of this country has gone radio silent. They're very vocally amplifying conspiracy theories about the election and how Donald Trump is, quote, the true winner. Maybe they're just busy? I know. Maybe Donald Trump is lying to them. Maybe he's denying that his miracle drugs come from the research of fetal stem cells from abortions. Again, no, that's not what's going on. The Trump administration argued that Donald is not in fact a hypocrite for embracing the treatment because his administration only banned new research after 2019, and this drug came from fetal stem cells that came from abortions before 2019. So, okay, for those of you keeping track at home, research using fetal stem cells from abortion before 2019, good. Research using fetal stem cells from abortion after 2019, bad, very bad. Seems to me, if your position is that abortion can never be legal and research using fetal stem cells is evil, it's inherently hypocritical to then embrace and celebrate someone like Donald Trump and anyone with $100,000 sitting around for access to treatment not accessible to the rest of us Americans that is the product of aborted fetal stem cells. A friend of mine, Mason Becker, said it perfectly. Stem cells for me, but not for thee. Examples of blatant hypocrisy, giant cracks in the illusion of moral high ground and righteous indignation are insightful. What they tell us is that those leading the agenda don't actually care about the substance of their position. If they did, how could they ever reconcile the two? You're either okay with research on fetal stem cells that we obtain through abortion, or you're not. It's really that simple. If those leading pro-life politics aren't actually morally offended by life-saving treatment made possible by fetal stem cells from abortion, then why all the time, money, and energy spent on this issue? The answer? Power. The issue of abortion has been possibly the biggest wedge issue that keeps us as a community divided. Those of us who agree on things like healthcare, clean food, air, and water, good public schools, get divided on the issue of abortion. It is not a coincidence that the group primarily divided is women. As long as they keep us pegged against each other, we're never actually a threat to actually hold corrupt politicians accountable. Think about it. How much corporate pollution, corporate welfare, defunding of public education, exploitation of prescription drug costs, or inaccessibility to healthcare have we shouldered in furtherance of single-issue voting? It's the perfect get-out-of-jail-free card, and they play it over and over and over again. So as you watch members of Donald's inner circle continue to miraculously defeat COVID-19 in no time at all, remember that it is those women who elected to seek an abortion prior to 2019 that allowed that life-saving treatment to exist. Episode 21 Monday. See you there.